Okay, let's
everybody knows what happened. Everybody knows why Amit Shah spent 2 hours.
I've got
disagreement.
I've got to go beyond the
disagreement. I just point out a disagreement on a matter like the Jinnah issue is one thing.
But I mean, the election is over. The election is over. There'll be a lot to argue about after the result. We don't have to, in a sense, rewind. Let's fast forward. Jay Panda of the BJD is now with us. Gurcharan Das and Santosh Desai are also with us. Let me get Jay to come in here. Jay, what everybody is basically asking is, where are the regional parties? Parties like yourself going to go? It could be that the BJP, already in a huddle with the RSS discussing possible roles for Advani, Sushma Joshi, doesn't even need you all. But there has been a softening of Naveen Patnaik's position in recent days. Would it be fair to say that you do not see the BJP to be a political untouchable in the way that you perhaps once did after your alliance broke? But it was an 11-year-old alliance, so clearly your differences with the BJP were not ideological.
But I know you won't put words in my mouth, so I'm glad to get this opportunity to clarify, to reiterate actually. You must have heard Shri Naveen Patnaik yesterday say quite categorically that there's been a lot of speculation which is unwarranted just because one member of our party said something in an individual capacity. Within the party or even externally, there has been no contemplation and no discussions about providing support to anyone. But I can understand that it's in the nature of the game to speculate on these things. I think we're just a few hours away from the results, and I don't want to speculate any further. I think we should just wait and see.
But Jay, you're not saying no. You're not saying yes, but you're not saying no.
No, I'm saying that the party's position has essentially not changed. The position that we have maintained for the last 5 years, the position which has been rewarded by the people of Odisha, has not changed. I can't say anything further than that. Anything beyond that would be speculation.
Okay, I want to expand this debate now to look at how both campaigns branded themselves. Is Narendra Modi now bigger than the BJP? A number of surveys suggesting that people have actually voted for Mr. Modi, and had the BJP had a different leader at its helm, they would not have voted necessarily for the BJP. Gurcharan Das, let me get you in, and then Santosh Desai, and then we'll take it back to the politicians. That's one of the arguments you made in your column, that people may not have voted for the BJP. You even said that the BJP may not have been the most appealing option without Mr. Modi. Why do you say that?
Well, because I think until 2 years ago, before Mr. Modi came on the national scene, the BJP was a very unappealing party. It had played a role of a B team of the Congress, had not defended, had behaved disastrously in Parliament, disrupting it, and not debated the issues. And only when Modi came in, and there was clarity. There was a clarity for the first time, and I think one of the great achievements of this election is that the Indian voter has been educated between what is called the right of center and what is called the left of center economic policies. And he has done this relentlessly.
So what is brand Modi? What is Mr. Das, what does brand Modi signify to you? Because what we are discussing on this program today is brand Modi vis-a-vis brand Gandhi.
Exactly. And what brand Modi signifies to me is the fact that 10 million people are coming into the job market every year. Unless we get our growth rate up to 8%, we will not be able to provide them with jobs. 1% growth rate leads to 1.5 million jobs. There's a very direct correlation. And so what you want today is why Modi has persuaded a liberal like me, who's not a Hindu nationalist, in fact who finds Hindu nationalism quite unattractive. He's persuaded me because I feel that he can deliver on this promise of jobs and growth.
Very interesting that you're actually saying that Hindu nationalism is unappealing to you. Santosh, bring in your perspective here. When the country does watch the RSS leadership in Delhi, when you see someone as senior as Amit Shah, and senior also in terms of how close he is to Mr. Modi, today negotiating with the RSS, in a Modi regime, when we deconstruct brand Modi, what do you imagine will be the clout of a group like the RSS? Is Modi now larger than the Sangh Parivar, at least in public perception?
Well, in terms of certainly the elections and in terms of what, what has been the outcome, I think, of this whole process, clearly brand Modi is bigger than the Parivar today in terms of the electorate. I mean, the fact that you cannot imagine the BJP being represented today by anybody but Narendra Modi, for whatever reason, for instance, if you were not available to lead, whatever hopes and aspirations that he represents today, would the BJP as a party be able to represent that? The chances are that the answer is no. It is Narendra Modi.
Yeah.
And I think that does give him a certain amount of leverage in his relationship with the Parivar. I think it is true that the two organizations are linked in a deep kind of a way, and it's difficult to extricate the two. But I think it's reasonable to expect that, given the nature of the kind of a mandate that Mr. Modi is likely to get, it does seem likely that he is bigger today than any other constituent of the Parivar, and I think that will give him leverage.
I do want Nalin Kohli to respond to that, but Jay, if I can get your response, because as a party that still says, and this could change after tomorrow, but at the moment you describe yourself to be equidistant from both the Congress and the BJP. Now, till that is true, if you had to compare these two brands, because I also know you're a keen observer of politics and not only a politician yourself, what is brand Modi vis-a-vis brand Gandhi to you, Jay?
Well, it's a little awkward for me to talk about people leading two different parties, but briefly I would only say that if you're talking about Rahul Gandhi, he and his party have been in government for 10 years, so they have an established track record at the national level. Mr. Modi has, I think, successfully to some extent projected his image as a capable leader at a regional level who now wishes to bring that competence to the national level. But I do wish to point out that I'm not quibbling with that, I'm not quarreling with that, but that very same approach has been taken by other regional leaders who have shown similar competence in both economic performance and other governance measures in their own states, but perhaps have not been able to communicate that quite as well, even including other chief ministers of the BJP itself.
Very interesting, and I want to bring in Nalin Kohli and Rita Bahuguna on this. Nalin Kohli, what Jay seems to be suggesting is that in many ways Mr. Modi has been the most effective communicator, the most effective, marketer. Comment on that, but also comment on this perception that it's now a vote for Modi, it's not a vote for the BJP, that Modi is bigger, that maybe under a Modi regime, the RSS will have diminished influence, and that is why there is a certain amount of wariness. And address the contradiction that if you're against the personality cult around the Gandhis, how will you avoid a personality cult around Narendra Modi?
Well, I mean, when have we not had personalities who are important in politics? And we've seen it all through the decades. So I don't think that's really anything new or something that we need to be worried about. But it does not mean, I think the question is about capability. Now, with regard to the point that Jay is making, communication is one aspect of it. I mean, I can't say that, sometimes we've seen leaders who don't have communication skills, but they are very good and they make it also. There are multiplicity of factors that bring it. In our case, we are very happy and we are proud of the fact that we have Mr. Modi, the capability of delivering and understanding the complexities, and most important of all, getting India and the voter to recognize that. I mean, there's no stopping in democracy. Everyone has a right to go to the people. And any of those regional leaders could have.
Is Modi today bigger than the RSS, Nalin Kohli?
That could be. I don't think it's an issue, and I don't even think it's relevant, and I don't even say so.
That's not answering the question.
No, I'm coming straight to it. No, I'm not. Because you see, Mr. Modi is that charismatic leader, and people are, they are enthused by him in large numbers across. At the same time, what's at the back end is an organization. Mr. Modi is a product of the organization.
But what would you say to someone like Gurcharan Das? I mean, Derek is with us now. We'll go to Derek in just a moment.
No, let me just finish this.
Okay, the reason I'm interrupting is because Gurcharan had a point very relevant.
I didn't hear your point because I'm on an OB, so I missed points.
Okay, let me repeat it for you. I've got Gurcharan there. Gurcharan made the point that he was backing Modi but not Hindu nationalism. He found Hindu nationalism quite unappealing. Gurcharan, what do you want to say on this point of the equation between the RSS and Modi, if Modi is today bigger than the BJP and the Parivar?
Well, I think you've made the right point here, that in fact, everybody, if Modi's landslide comes in as the polls are predicting, then it's very clear that it's a Modi victory. And you know that analysis you read over the weekend, which was made by a CIA in the US, which said that for 500 times Modi mentioned the word development, he mentioned Hindutva only once. Now a man cannot deceive people in that way. It would be the greatest deception in history. So I personally think the RSS has a reason to be wary.
Okay.
The fact is that people are that a very large number of people are voting for Modi not because they are Hindu nationalists, but because they are persuaded on the economic agenda.
That's a very important point. That's a very important point. And just, Nalin, very briefly, because Derek has just joined us and we must go straight to him.
No, I'll make a limited point on this. I think the question here is that everyone's free to make their assessment, but this is not an election on Hindu nationalism or an election on Hindutva. When we are fighting an election on price rise, corruption, unemployment, economic decline and other issues, where is that? In terms of it, and about being wary, would every Indian, irrespective whether he or she is a member of the RSS or not, requires to really delivery from all of these problems?
Okay.
And I think that's what this election is. And that's what the vote for Mr. Modi is also.
Okay.
And for the BJP, which is the organization.
We must always have a health warning that the results are yet to come. Derek O'Brien.
Of course.
Derek O'Brien.
There is a massive vote. We will wait for the actual result. We understand that.
Derek, the branding of this campaign. Jay was initially making the point that there were many other successful chief ministers. They weren't able to market themselves quite as effectively as Mr. Modi was. What happened and how do we read the vitriol between Mamata Banerjee and Narendra Modi? Is that vitriol here to stay? As somebody who also understands communication very well, how do you compare brand Modi, brand Mamata and brand Gandhi?
I don't know about brand Mamata because I don't know brand Mamata. I know Mamata Banerjee, who is a simple woman, who's had a long and tough political life, who threw the communists out of South Asia and ended communism in South Asia. So I don't know about brand Mamata. I know Mamata as a woman who has struggled, who had to leave the Congress party, got thrown out of the Congress party, and I know her as the only person who's left the Congress party. Otherwise you leave the Congress party and you get subsumed later by the Congress party, or you become politically irrelevant.
Yeah.
Since independence, and this is not hyperbole, since independence, many people have left the Congress party, including the gentleman who is now holding the #1 constitutional position in the country, for 294 seats in Bengal Assembly and got 0.
Fair enough.
Even someone like the former Maratha, I just want to make this point.
Yeah.
The former Maratha strongman, he still runs a coalition with the Congress. So Mamata Di is the one person since independence who is running an independent government after leaving
but you
the
know, I want to
Congress
share
party.
a piece of information with you. The Congress's Rashid Alvi, speaking perhaps only for himself and not for the party, today made a suggestion that all secular parties, I'm using that in quotes because it's a political construct today, should elect Mamata Banerjee as their leader. The Congress may not get the numbers, says Rashid Alvi. We should all get together, the secular parties, and elect Mamata Banerjee as our national leader. Do you take this seriously, Derek?
As I said, Barkha, I'm looking forward to the election results tomorrow, like the BJP, like the Congress, and like all the other parties who fought the elections.
Yeah.
We have fought this election on one plank. We believe we've done 3 years of great development work in Bengal.
But you're not answering my question.
And we believe tomorrow is the...
You're not answering my question.
What someone said, didn't say someone... No. Listen, Barkha, I don't need to answer your question. I don't need to respond to what some congressman said in Delhi.
I think the deeper question to you and Jay, and then I'm taking it to Santosh, the deeper question to both of you. There was talk at one point of an Eastern Bloc. You know, Naveen Patnaik, Mamata Banerjee, Nitish Kumar possibly coming together. Have you all been, in a sense, hit by the tidal impact of the Modi wave, or is it too early to say that? Derek, to you first and then to Jay.
See, Barkha, so far what do we have at hand? We have these exit polls.
Yeah.
And we have exit polls. You've seen all those exit polls. Some, I must say, some are bizarre exit polls. One exit poll gives one exit poll gives Rajasthan 14 seats to the Congress.
Yes.
Another exit poll gives 36% to the left in Bengal and 33% to the communists.
We know which
So
poll
I
you're
really
talking
think
about. Yes,
those
but go ahead.
exit-
Yeah. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but you know, and I think, to be fair, I don't want to digress, but I think your channel, not because you gave us the number of seats, but I mean, at least we may not agree with all the numbers, but at least they're not bizarre.
Okay.
You know? Someone said BJP, one other third exit poll said BJP will win 6 to 8 seats in Bengal. I mean, you know, these are bloopers. Now, either I'm making a fool of myself on national television, or by tomorrow 2 o'clock, I use the word bloopers, it will be confirmed.
Okay.
But I think now is the time, Barkha, to enjoy these 14 or 15 hours. I know you have to do your talk show, and we are spokespersons sitting in the party office. I was actually quite relaxed in my blue shirt today. So all this can wait till tomorrow. Now let's enjoy one nice evening.
But you know what? Nobody's waiting.
Have a chill beer in the
already
evening.
discussing potential ministries. So Jay, respond to what I'm asking. The branding of this campaign. When you say chief ministers as successful as Mr. Modi could not brand themselves in the same way, where did those chief ministers fail?
Yeah,
then?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
No, that question to Jay. Jay,
I'll tell
please.
you.
Okay, Derek, one line and then Jay. And then I really have to go to Santosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since you use the term branding,
Yes.
some brands have a person endorsing the brand. I think here the endorsee became bigger than the product, which was the BJP. This is my personal view. I've been in advertising for 10 years, but we can discuss this later.
Okay.
Well, I think the person endorsing the brand became bigger than the brand.
I can see
itself, the
Nalin's hand
BJP.
going
My
up, but Jay
personal
first. Jay, go ahead.
Well, you use the term tidal wave. I think the only tidal wave we have seen so far is in the number of opinion and exit polls. And as Derek was pointing out, they're all over the place. Which one do you trust? Even people that have had, even forecasters that have had good track record in the past are making fairly, stupendous projections. It's still not the real thing, and the real thing is only going to come tomorrow. That's when we're going to decide. Now, in terms of other chief ministers who may or may not have made it, I think it all depends on the numbers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if the numbers do pan out as the exit polls are indicating, then
Yes.
all this may be a moot point.
Yeah.
If the numbers aren't exactly as per the exit polls or are at the low end of what has been projected,
I take
then
that
this question
point.
becomes relevant.
I do take that point, but Santosh Desai, has there not been a branding problem apart from a performance problem with the Congress? Take Rahul Gandhi deciding to skip the Prime Minister's farewell meeting. Even the communication that he'd already met the Prime Minister comes after the media is all over the story. Doesn't it in a sense epitomize not just the power dynamics and the problems of the power structure of the UPA, and I can see Nalin's hand go up, but Santosh, you first. Doesn't it capture the chronic problem of the Congress, Santosh?
No, absolutely. I think the Congress has had several problems, but certainly they've not been helped by the way that they've handled the brand. I think firstly the whole discourse on the Congress side has been an inward one. Is Rahul Gandhi interested? Is he not? Does he want to take charge of the party, or does he not? For so many years they've been in government, and he has decided to stay out for reasons best known to himself. You look at the way that they've managed, almost every element of the communication mix.
Yeah.
You only seen Rahul Gandhi right now lead the charge. When the time comes today, he disappears. He is nowhere to be found. I think overall, it's as if the Congress has not had, every brand has a story, a dream, a larger idea to sell. What is the Congress larger idea today?
Yeah.
It is really impossible to decipher that today. And I think that is the big problem when you were to contrast brand Modi, who is telling a positive story about India's future, the way he sees it. And then you have the Congress that does not seem to have anything to offer by way of contrast.
Okay, Rita Bahuguna briefly, and then Nalin, I promise I'm coming to you right after that, because this is about Rahul Gandhi. And Rita Bahuguna Joshi, today the posters outside the Congress headquarters, my colleague Sunil Prabhu sent a report, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have vanished from the posters. This reminds me of the Gujarat campaign, where their faces were not on the poster because the Shield Gandhi operation has begun. It's everybody's fault but the families.
Well, let us understand that as Rahulji and all of us have been saying, that this brand Modi is nothing but propaganda, which was marketed so well through the media. And every day in the newspapers, front page, full page ads, television, every 5 minutes, Modi, Modi Sarkar, Modi Sarkar.
But who stopped you from doing the same?
Relegated to a secondary
Who
position.
Stopped you? Who
so what I
stopped
would
you
say,
from advertising?
this brand is created by the media. This brand was created by the media. His marketing was very good. We could not reach out to the people with the good work that the UP had done. As far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, he's a very sincere grassroots worker, and he never tries to take over the party. What Mr. Modi has done, he has totally, as a tsunami, taken over his party.
Okay, Derek, you were going to respond there. I know Nalin wanted to come in, but
his brand is,
one line and then Nalin
he is not secular. His brand is that he wants capitalism. His brand is he's a dictator, and the times.
But you know, Manmohan Singh was the father of economic reforms in this country. So capitalism, which today has become a bad word, this is one of the many paradoxes
of a different kind.
Okay,
the kind that Gujarat has seen.
Okay, Nalin, you go ahead, and then Derek. Nalin, go ahead. Nalin, go ahead.
Well, with no offense to anyone, but I just don't actually accept this brand discussion. Because we are dealing with serious problems in the country, and you can't force hundreds of thousands of people to sit in 40-degree plus temperature and come there for a brand. You know, you can buy a product in a shop as a brand.
Modi have
certainly not. This is a serious. No, let me just finish my point.
If the polls are correct, people would have come for brand Modi, not for brand BJP.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
No, do you accept that?
For example, Barkha,
do you accept, Nalin? Do you accept, Nalin? Do you accept that if the polls are correct, it's a vote for brand Modi, not a vote for brand BJP?
It's not a brand in the brand Modi. That's what I'm saying. I want to complete it. Hear me out fully.
Okay.
I'm not being rude to anyone who's using the word brand. I'm saying with no offense to anyone. My point is very simple. It's about hopes, aspirations, and faith in delivery. That's what people do. You were here on the day of the nomination. You've seen the heat. You've seen all of that yourself. It's not easy, and people don't come out there unless they have faith and hope.
Okay.
It can't be a marketing exercise alone.
Derek,
it's the conviction of a leader also. The conviction of his words. People can see through. With regard to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, well, perhaps he's, really building grassroots. No, I want to make this because Rita ji commented. He's probably building the grassroots of the Congress party beyond the shores of India. We've seen it in Nirbhaya, we're seeing it now. So, I mean, how serious a politician he is on India and India's problems is clearly seen here.
It is. Okay. This is your problem. You have in this election
Madam, honestly, don't go into that area. We don't want to discuss passport and travel details on this show. We shouldn't discuss passport and travel details on this show. I'm sure you will not find it a very, very convincing discussion from your end.
You've been talking caste, you've been talking
No, because you've been saying it on Mr. Modi, I'm just pointing out. Let's keep this discussion out of passport and foreign travel.
I've got a minute left in the show. Derek gets 30 seconds. Gurcharan gets 30 seconds.
Why did he shift from development, individual attack?
You may or may not accept.
Why did he shift to community?
Calm down. The results are out tomorrow. You needn't waste so much energy today. Derek, 30 seconds.
Right. Barkha, no, I don't want to disturb the spat between the Congress and the BJP, but I want to take it to a point beyond the brand.
Yeah, quickly.
Because before the brand comes the product.
Yeah.
Before the brand comes the product. And there is a problem with the product Congress. Everybody knows the problem. There's also a serious problem with the product BJP. Now, if you go back to the product, if you have a problem, it's the same product. I will concede that the BJP marketed a bad product better as a brand. Let me give you one example, a concrete example.
Quickly.
Women's reservation bill, both products, both the parties wanted 33% women's reservation.
Yes.
What did the BJP and Congress do? In the candidate list, BJP had 8% for women and the Congress had 15%.
Yes.
Trinamool had 28%.
Okay.
Go back to the product, and that's where you will find holes, gaping holes. Congress people know BJP has been covered up in the packaging.
Okay, I'll give Gurcharan Das the last word on this. Gurcharan is someone backing Mr. Modi.
Gurcharan is product politics.
Gurcharan is someone backing Mr.
We have
Modi.
leaders.
How do you respond to Derek saying it's a bad product marketed masterfully?
Look, I don't want to get into this business of brand versus non-brand, but the reason why people are persuaded about Modi is that they have realized that we have so far made the mistake in overvaluing intelligence and undervaluing determination. The reason why Manmohan Singh has been a failure, why Rahul Gandhi is unappealing, is because these people, they do not have determination. You need willpower to be successful. We make the same mistake in the business with business leaders.
Yes.
We see a CV and we say, oh my God, IIT, IIM, Harvard Business School, let's take him. But we don't know whether they have the attitude, the qualities that deliver results.
So I'm hearing
I think
you say...
what the Indian voter...
Yes, quickly, Gurcharan,
what
go
the
to
Indian voter has...
Yeah, quickly, Gurcharan, last sentence.
The Indian voter has now realized a very important truth about leadership. And let's hope that if Mr. Modi does come to power, he will be able to deliver this quality that he has projected single-mindedly
only a few
in
hours,
his campaign.
Only a few hours left to go. We'll have a different debate tomorrow evening. Nalin Kohli, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, Jay Panda, Derek O'Brien, Santosh Desai and Gurcharan Das. Thanks for joining us on this special episode as we wait for D-Day, and good luck to all your respective parties for tomorrow morning. We'll take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we've been on the road to 2014, traveling across India. On the other side, behind the scenes on how the team put it all together.